What's your emergency?
Welcome to That Weewoo Show, a podcast where we watch and discuss episodes of the ABC show 911. I'm Bex.
I'm Alice.
And I'm Ellen.
As we say every week, thank you to everyone who has listened to our episodes so far and who's taken time out of what I'm sure is a very busy day to rate us on those platforms that allow you to rate podcasts, specifically Spotify and Apple. And for those of you who have taken the time to send us comments or leave us comments about the episodes that you've listened to. This week, we would like to give a shout out to Kira, who was having some kind of Vulcan mind meld with Ellen while watching the first episode of season 5, where apparently both of them at the same time said that Buck got his recklessness from his father when we were discussing Bobby trying to base jump off the hospital roof with just a fire hose tied around his waist. And we would also
so silly.
And we'd also like to say thank you to Ella for leaving us a comment on Spotify, which we got a bit of a chuckle out of, and I'm going to read it so that you too can get a chuckle out of it, which says, "I liked these first episodes. Well, no, actually, I don't. Lol." I hate. They go on to say that they hate the Jeffrey storyline, but love all of the repressed, closeted, comphead Eddie content and the headcanons they gave us. Oh, the potential. And they also think that season 5 is weirdly underrated. So we'll come back to whether we think whether Ellen thinks season 5 is underrated by the time we get to the end of it, because I think Alice and I have our opinions on that. And they also mentioned that there perhaps was a heat wave when they were filming season 5, hence why they wrote the season opener to season 5 to have a heat wave as a way to explain why the actors were all sweaty. So, I don't know if anybody remembers what the weather was doing when they were filming the beginning of season 5. Let us know. Do you agree with that theory?
It's a great theory.
All right, well, before we continue into the possibly underrated season 5, Alice, could you remind us what happened in the last episode that we watched?
Yeah, so last week on 911, Jeffrey was killed after Athena shot him 29 times. Harry was rescued. Eddie broke up with Anna after she babysat his child for a week straight. And Maddie abandoned Ji-yoon at the firehouse because she felt she was a danger to her.
Aww.
Poor Maddie.
All right, so this last week ended on a sad note, and unfortunately it's not going to improve much in this episode. This is season 5. It's called Home and Away. No, we are actually talking about 911 and not about Home and Away, the Australian soap opera.
But what did Alf get up to this week?
No, we're not going to the beach, sorry. This is from October 11th, 2021. I always think that we are catching up and then we read a date like that and I'm like, no, actually, it's still quite a way to go.
It's fine. I just realised probably none of our American followers are going to understand why we're talking about Alf and the beach.
We're like, wait, the alien went to the beach? Although then, of course, I'm assuming that most of our listeners are old enough to remember Alf.
Yeah,
that's true. All right, let's keep going with this actual episode, not Home and Away, the other show. So in this episode summary, it says the members of the 118 arrive on the scene after a truck crashes into a high school homecoming parade. Meanwhile, Athena and Michael try to help Harry in the aftermath of his kidnapping. May is intimidated by a returning call centre legend, and Bobby gives a devastated Chimney advice regarding Maddie.
Wait, did we see that? I was going to say, did Bobby give Chimney advice regarding Maddie?
I think
Buck Buck
gives advice. Yeah, maybe they're changing around storylines again like they did that in the
jumping ahead, we do get a line in a future episode with Bobby regarding Chim, but I don't think we actually saw that scene in this episode. I wonder if they filmed it and then had to cut it for time and they just forgot to tell the person writing the summary.
Probably.
Maybe.
They do that a lot.
Or they write the summaries before the final cut of the episode is done. Maybe.
Who knows? The summaries are always so bad, I'm always curious as to which way around it goes.
Well, we have quite a goodie basket of triggers for this episode. We have bullying, hazing, a car accident, which is a truck versus a crowd, which causes mass injuries and fatalities. A child has to do CPR, children at threat, child endangerment, chlorine gas leak. I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was the truck. The truck that crashed into the parade.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a non-issue in the episode, but yeah, it did happen for like a hot minute.
Yes. Child death, home invasion, heart attack, not Eddie, not panicking, patient death, postpartum depression, PTSD/childhood PTSD, reckless driving, and the threat of gun violence.
Yeah.
So it's a barrel of laughs in this episode.
Yeah.
Actually, quite a somber tone, basically, for the whole thing. I don't know if there's much lightheartedness in this episode at all. So apologies if we hurry through some bits or whatever. It's just, a lot of this is very
really
heavy.
Sad.
Yeah, very heavy. Yeah, we kick right off with Chim watching Maddie's message over and over again. And he just looks so sad.
But he's not watching it over and over again because he's watching it to spend time with Maddie. He's watching like a specific 10 seconds over and over again. Like he's decoding the video to find hidden messages that Maddie has left in it.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's doing that, Buck is at the door trying to talk to Chim and eventually just lets himself into the apartment because Chim is not answering the door.
Yeah, you can hear him banging on the door and going, "I know you're in there." Poor Buck, he looks so worried.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Which makes sense as to why he's so worried because, he's operating on sort of extra information right now that Chim doesn't know. Chim's gone full, like, conspiracy theory with this, trying to decode secret messages. He shows Buck part of the video because he's convinced that when the part where Maddie says, "I'm not in any danger and no one is making me do it," she looks, like, off camera. And she's shaking her head as she looks off camera, which means that's the opposite of what she's saying, that someone is making her do this.
Yeah.
But then he looks at Buck and Buck's looking at him like he's crazy and he realises how crazy he sounds. Doesn't stop him from continuing the crazy.
Oh, he gets even crazier.
Including bringing up that maybe Doug was not really dead and has come back and kidnapped her.
Yeah, Buck's like, no one wants to hurt Maddie, and Chim's like, Doug did, and Buck's like, well, Doug's dead, and Chim immediately goes, is he though? Did you see a body? Did anyone see a body? And
Everybody
like,
saw the body.
He's been through so much trauma, this poor guy, especially like the last time this happened, like Maddie went missing, it was Doug, and he did take her. But like, I'm not surprised he's like this, really.
But Buck's trying to talk him down. He's like, you just have to give her time. She's going to come home. And Chim was like, how do you know that? And Buck said, well, because she told me. Well, he doesn't say that because he's not supposed to tell Chim at this point. But he's like, I know my sister. And Chim said, well, I did too. And now this is the only thing that I've got left. The only thing she left me is this video message. And then cue his daughter crying in the room. Buck's like, it's not the only thing she left you.
Yeah.
Aww.
So, you can't, the message being you can't go full conspiracy cuckoo bananas over this video because you've got to look after your daughter.
Poor Chim.
Like I said, I hate that they keep giving Chim these traumatic storylines, but I do really enjoy watching Kenny act them because he does such a good job.
Yep.
Speaking of parents and traumatic storylines, we're at Grant Family Therapy.
Yeah, literally family therapy. So Harry's been in with the therapist and then he's now swapping places with Athena and Michael.
Yeah, they like go in and start grilling the therapist, basically. Like, has he said anything about what happened? Like, is he okay? How's he doing? And the therapist is sort of like, oh, we're still working on that. And they work out that they haven't taken Harry back to the house yet because he wanted to stay at Michael. He's been wanting to stay at Michael's place, and the therapist kind of encourages them to take him back home to make him feel like, and keep everything as normal as possible so that he can feel safe there.
Yeah, the message was that if you allow him to stay away, you are reinforcing his belief that the house is scary. Instead, they need to change.
Which makes sense.
It does make sense, but they need to change the message, and the message is not that the house is scary, it's that the man was scary, but the man is gone now, and the house is safe. But Athena does not seem at all on board with that idea. She immediately cuts the therapist off, and then cuts Michael off when he says that they'll do that. So I don't think Harry's the only one that thinks that the house is unsafe.
Oh no! And after we see what happens in the future, I think Athena is the one who should also be talking to the therapist about this.
Athena needs therapy.
Yeah. And she refused it before, right? Like, she was seeing somebody, and then she,
I think,
stopped going or whatever.
Yes.
After the attack.
Yeah. Yeah, she was seeing Brooke Shields, who was supposedly preparing her to give evidence on the stand, but then it took another season for them to actually get to the court case. So, make that make sense. But yeah, she saw Brooke Shields maybe twice and then never saw her again. Mm-hmm. That was a bit of a mistake.
Yes, so much trauma.
Okay, God, Dispatch. I hate Dispatch in this episode.
Same.
Okay, so Josh, Linda, and May have gone to get coffee, and Josh is gushing that the prodigal daughter has returned. They walk onto dispatch floor. May thinks that he means that Maddie has come back and there is a crowd around a station, so she pushes through, expecting to see Maddie, except it's not Maddie. It's an older, only in that she's older than May, black woman who is single-handedly running LAPD, possibly SWAT, and giving CPR advice to a young child.
Yeah, she's doing the entire thing.
Yes.
And everybody is standing around watching her do it.
Okay,
yeah,
so
apparently there are no
stupid.
other phone calls happening.
So not only are there no other phone calls, but can they all hear? So
apparently.
You know how we keep questioning, May or Maddie will take a really important call and all of a sudden Sue beelines across, or Josh beelines across the floor because they've heard something. Yeah. So has Claudette put this entire thing on speaker so that everyone can hear how amazing she's doing?
Probably.
Clearly,
Or are they just standing around listening to her side of it and only us, the audience, can hear what is actually going on in the call?
I don't know. The whole scene is really, feels bad. It just feels like, ugh, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So May is getting a little bit starstruck with this amazing woman who's doing, such a brilliant job on this call. And the call ends. Everybody is safe. Everybody has been saved. Bad guys have been caught. The good guys have lived. And May goes over to basically suck up a little bit. Try and get some FaceTime with this legendary woman that she's just met.
Whose name is Claudette Collins. She sounds like a Marvel character.
She does, actually.
And she makes a comment, she's trying to make nice with Claudette. She's like, wow, they put you right to work. They didn't even give you time to put on your uniform. And Josh, oh my God, I hate Josh in this episode because he's so far up Claudette's ass that he could be peering out of her mouth. Wearing her as a onesie.
Literally.
Ew, but yes. And he laughs. They laugh at her. It was like, oh.
Like, oh, Claudette doesn't wear the polo. And she's like, seriously, I couldn't look this corny and do what I do. And sort of May looks down at the polo that she's wearing. She's like, oh. So that's strike number 1. Strike number 2 is then Linda pipes up. Which, honestly, girl, you should have kept your mouth shut because you've just put another target on your head. Because Claudette looks over and goes, Linda, I had $10 that you'd wash out in 6 months.
Ouch.
Yep. Lovely.
Yeah. She's just, oh.
Uh-huh.
She's such a bitch. And the thing that I hate is that she's such a bitch and yet Josh is just going along with it.
Yeah, everyone seems to love her.
Yes.
Well, they all think she's like a strong personality or whatever. They're not at all put off by the fact that she's like just being really horrible to everybody. And then when May introduces herself, Josh says that, Claudette assumes that she's an intern and she just takes the coffee out of her hand and steals it, basically.
Like, May tries to introduce herself and she's like, oh, everyone seems really excited to have you here. May Grant. And Claudette's like, you may grant me that coffee? And just takes May's coffee.
Yeah.
And May's like, oh, no, that's my name, but yep, okay, yep.
Yep. And when Josh corrects Claudette and says that May is not an intern, she's actually a dispatcher, Claudette's like, oh, so we're hiring fetuses now. Oh, so she takes her coffee, she heads into the break room with Josh trailing behind her, leaving May absolutely stunned, and she says she's absolutely stunned, and Linda goes, well, at least she didn't steal your lunch money. And May's like, why do I feel like that's next? Like, classic bully move. I hate Claudette. I'm really glad that everybody has had the same reaction to Claudette, because I wasn't sure whether it was just like, that sense of justice where someone is just so evil and so bad that you can't stand them.
No, I think she's supposed to be hated. Like, I don't think they gave her any redeeming qualities.
I know, but I have such issues with that kind of characteristics. I hate people and characters that are just unredeemably evil. I'm good with morally grey characters. I'm good with, evil, but there's some sort of something behind them, but just a straight out villain, I cannot handle them. So
yeah, and even if they had made her like kind of mean and everything, and other people acknowledged that she was kind of mean, that might have been okay. But because the rest of the dispatch just love her and they think she's amazing, that's just really don't know about that.
Yeah, right. Like, can they not see that she's a terrible? It does my head in. That's very much a trait for like us autistics too. Like, we'll be like,
yes,
oh my god, like that person's awful, and people are like, no, they're so good, and then they do something and people are like, oh my god, they're awful. It's like, I told you that. Why weren't you listening to me?
I think that's the issue I have, especially because Josh seems to think that the sun shines out of her ass. And Josh has always been portrayed as the good guy and as like Maddie's gay bestie who gives the best advice, and he's always on the right side. And for him to be on Claudette's side here, he's quite clearly on the wrong side. But because it's Josh, you're like, well, maybe we're missing something. But no, I think Josh has just like hitched himself to her wagon in the hopes to, accelerate his own career. Or
maybe he was young and new when she was around before, and he thought she was great then, and now he's
because they said later on that they came up through training together. So I can imagine that the young black woman and the young gay guy kind of joined forces as the minorities in the training group or something, and when he realised how good she was. I don't know, I just don't like her. I really just don't like her. And I don't like that Josh likes her.
Well, she's not going anywhere in a hurry for now. We need to go and have some more trauma.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, from Mean Girls in Dispatch, we're going to Mean Girls in High School. Although, aka the cheerleaders. Although I don't think these two are mean girls. These two seem very sweet.
They do.
Yes, so we're going to, David Wallace some people so that we like them. so that we know them.
I'm sure nothing bad will happen to these people. It's fine.
It's like, oh, we're learning all about these kids and like what they're doing, and the teacher who gets bullied by his students, and like, so they've got Cassie and Michaela are going to ride together in the parade, and they're really excited. They're going to have lunch with their families together afterwards, and blah blah.
Well, they're going to have lunch with Michaela's parents because Cassie's parents, once again, have not been able to make it to the homecoming parade. Which, to be fair, the girls aren't performing a routine. They're just riding in the back of a convertible.
Yeah. Apparently both of them have a big open house today, so they clearly work together as real estate agents, and both of them need to be at the open house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's LA, so it's probably an expensive house.
Okay, explain to me what homecoming is again. I've forgotten.
No idea.
Sports.
You are asking the wrong people.
Okay. All right,
Listeners,
keep talking. I'm going to look it up in the background.
Unfortunately, the most I know about sports is what I've learned from Heated Rivalry this week, and they are not teenagers. They are out of, well, they are, but they're out of high school, so.
And they are not having a parade. They're doing some other things.
I
mean, they may have had a parade. I wasn't paying attention to Anyway.
No, if it follows the books, no parades. But the idea with the specific of this scene is that the two girls are very, very close, and the families are very, very close. And Michaela's parents are treating Cassie as if she were their own daughter, which is important for later on.
Yeah.
So while the girls are getting their photo taken in the back of the convertible, we move on to potential victim number 2, which is Mr. Foster, the science teacher, who is getting bullied by the football players. Because, football players.
Yeah, they're mean. And he doesn't know what to do about it, so... Okay.
He just sort of snarkily tells them that they're peaking. Like, they're peaking in high school. This is the best it's going to be for them. One of the players throws the football at Mr. Foster, and then another player goes over and asks for the football back. And that's it. That's the entire interaction.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
So the parade takes off with the football players standing on floats with cheerleaders. You've got Michaela and Cassie riding in the back of the convertible, waving at the very, very big crowd for a high school homecoming parade, considering this is Los Angeles and not, I would expect this in Friday Night Lights. Like small town Texas. I wouldn't expect this for California. But then I have no idea what homecoming is or what my expectations should be. So if this is normal, please let me know.
Well, I was just looking up Wikipedia, the source of all knowledge, and it says that high schools or colleges welcome back former members of the community and around a central event such as a dance or a game of football or another sport. And often it'll be like after a football team or a sports team has been away playing somewhere else, and then they come home and play a game. So that's the homecoming part. So the parade, I don't need it's the kind of thing that if you've never had this as a tradition, it just is incomprehensible to us. Like, I have no idea why they would have a parade because of this. But okay, someone in America who can explain why this is so important to have a parade, we'd love to know. Do tell.
Yes,
yeah, please explain like we're 5.
So they are just going to ride in the back of... They had little floats and stuff for some of the groups, the football team and...
I do like this fake out that we get. Because we see the parade start, we see the marching band marching, we see the floats in the cars heading down Main Street, I guess. I don't know. And intercut with that, we have scenes of this little old lady who definitely should not be driving,
Yeah.
getting into her, like, she's so little she can barely see over the steering wheel.
Yeah.
She's sitting like right up against the wheel, peering over the top. She's like the definition of your Sunday driver. And so we get scenes of her getting into her car and then pulling out of the driveway and like going over the curb because she's not able to see where the driveway ends. And you just assume that, oh shit, this lady is going to end up crashing into the parade.
I thought that was what was going to happen. I was
Yeah,
like, no, she's going to kill someone.
It's a great fake out, but because it's not the little old lady that causes the accident. It's the impatient jackass in the truck behind her who gets stuck behind her and gets incredibly frustrated, and he can't overtake her because she's weaving side to side on the road. And when he finally manages to get around her, he skids around her into a side street, goes full barrel down the side street. He sees that the side street is closed because it's like a T intersection, and the T part of the intersection is the main street where the parade is going. And oh my god, wouldn't you believe it? But his brakes suddenly fail.
Yeah, this is so like it. Yeah,
but instead of
bad timing,
cranking the handbrake or
or
swerving,
anything that makes sense. Yeah,
like
crashing
I know
into a tree, that'd be fine.
Well, I know that it was like a residential street and there were houses either side, but surely crashing into a house would have been preferable to just allowing your truck to go full speed through the barricade, through the stadium seating, the bleachers that had been set up, which don't seem to slow the truck down. If anything, going through all those obstacles seems to cause it to gain speed. And then the truck sort of swerves into the main road and follows the parade down the street, hits a float, goes flying through the air, and then lands right on top of the car that Cassie and Michaela were riding in.
Because of course it does.
Because of course, it's so much for the drama.
It's extremely dramatic.
I really enjoyed the fake out where you think it's the little old lady, but it's not. But then after that, I'm just like, oh no, okay. I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, so we don't get to see the immediate aftermath because we have to see the dispatch centre getting a bunch of different calls about this. It's not doesn't go for very long. It's mostly just Claudette taking charge of everything. She does ask for get the traffic police on the radio. All these groups of 5 people are going to go as well. So the 118 roll up.
But then my issue is that she's like barking orders. Josh, who I guess is the supervisor and therefore kind of in charge on the floor, comes
he's
out
the soup today.
He's soup.
He's soup today.
He comes out to like take over, and she just immediately brushes him aside and just continues barking orders.
Yeah.
I'm like, ma'am, I know that you two came up together through like training, but I'm pretty sure there's a hierarchy on that floor, and Josh is your superior in this instance.
Anyway, finally we get some 118 action.
Finally. Because it doesn't matter how good Claudette is, she has to dispatch the 118. That's like part of her contract.
Yeah, because Maddie's not there to dispatch them.
Yes.
Yeah, so they sort of... This is an interesting scene, actually, because it's... I don't think it's all one camera shot, but it's a very long scene because they're running from, like, one group of people to another, basically. Like, I think we follow Buck and Ravi for a bit, and then we go with Eddie and Hen for a little bit as well. Mm-hmm. They're checking people and finding some people who've already died, and they're marking them and they're moving on, kind of thing. And they're helping some other people into the ambulances. But they find... Hen and Eddie find one of the girls who was in the car, one of the cheerleaders, lying in the gutter kind of thing, like she's dead. But then they run over and they find the other one. And she's okay. Well, she's not okay. She's in a bad way, but she's alive. Hen asks her what her name is. And she's sort of pretty out of it. She just says, Michaela. And so Hen's assuming this is her name, and says, okay, Michaela, we're going to take care of you. So they get her in the ambulance and take her away. And there's a lot of other people who are in a lot of distress. We find the teacher that was getting bullied by the students earlier, who is now trapped underneath the bleachers.
But interestingly, it's one of the football players who comes to his rescue. Like, it's the kid that didn't throw the football at him, but went over to him to ask for the football back. He's the one that calls for the 118, specifically for Buck and Ravi, to come and help because he's found Mr. Foster.
Yeah, this takes a while to get him out because they think he's got a spinal injury.
Yeah, so he's all trapped.
They actually have to cut the metal.
Yeah, he's tangled up in there real good, as Buck said. And so while Buck, Ravi and Bobby are handling Mr. Foster, then we've got the rest of the 118 and the 133 dealing with everybody else. Michaela's parents run onto the street, screaming for Michaela. And they run up to Hen and Eddie. And they're like, Michaela, we're looking for our daughter, Michaela. And Hen's like, oh, Michaela, she's on her way to hospital.
Yeah, she was injured, but she's stable and on the way to the hospital.
And so Michaela's dad asks, what about her friend Cassie? She was with our daughter. And Eddie, stupidly, should not have said anything, but he said, oh, we found another cheerleader, but she's dead.
I mean, he's not quite that blunt. He says
No,
she didn't make it. But
it
yeah,
was, there was another girl, she didn't make it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Bye.
They obviously take that as they found Cassie and Cassie is dead.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't have said anything, really. I don't think. No, but, like, the amount of drama that was caused by these two this episode is just outstanding.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. Well, I don't, like, maybe you shouldn't have said anything, but it's, or maybe you should have said, I don't know, you know, we don't know.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a really unfortunate, like, an adventure in misadventure. I think this whole episode with the stuff that just went wrong left, right and centre. But anyway, they go off to the hospital in pursuit of the ambulance.
So while those two are Hen and Eddie are putting their feet in their mouths, Chimney is not on the scene because he is at home looking up.
Yeah, Chim's apparently been given time off.
Yeah, he couldn't have been given time off, like, during the emergency. Like,
No.
Anyway, so yeah, he's at home paying bills and opening mail, listening to his brother bitch over FaceTime about the perils of being a probie.
Oh, it's so funny. He's like, Albert's like, all I do is roll hoses, I make coffee, I clean. This isn't being a firefighter, it's being a maid. And normally, Chim would be like, yep, you know what I had to do? But instead, he's like not paying attention. He's like, yeah, I could use a maid. And Albert's like, what's so interesting about your mail? And Chim's like, seeing how you've never actually lived in a place where your name's on the lease, this is called a bill. You pay them. This one keeps the lights on. And this one makes sure your niece doesn't freeze at night.
He's so snarky.
Well, what I find really interesting is like the parallels between like Kevin and Chim and then Albert and Chim, because remember when in Chimney Begins, Kevin got to go on all the amazing calls while Chim was cleaning and cooking and making coffee. And now Chim is the one, like, and now he's got, you know, Albert saying all I get to do is the crappy probie stuff, and it would have been like the perfect opportunity for Chim to, like, come full circle, but he's too distracted by his mail to really, you know, pick up on that storyline. And speaking of the Lees, thank God for this writer of this episode, because Albert tells Chim that he forgives him for being snarky, because he knows that Chim isn't irritated with him. He's just, like, irritated and tired and overwhelmed. And perhaps it's time that Chim went back to work and let other people help. Like, you know, the Lees.
Yeah.
Yay. Someone remembered.
Somebody remembered the Lees. But Jim says he can't go back to work because his head would not be in the right place. He'd just be distracted and it'd probably be a danger to himself and others, which is fair enough.
And Albert's sort of reassuring him. He's like, oh, Maddie just needs some time. I'm sure she'll be back when she's ready. And Jim's like, hackles her up then. He's like, hang on a minute. Did Buck put you up to this? Because this sounds really familiar. And Albert's like, maybe. He might have mentioned that you could use some bucking up.
Yeah.
Jim's like, I've already been bucked up.
I've already been bucked up. I don't need any more. But then, while he's sorting his mail, he comes across a letter from his health insurance saying that they paid for Ji-Yoon's ER visit. And Albert's like, Ji-Yoon went to ER? And Jim's like, yeah, this is the first I'm hearing about it. But it was the day before Maddie left.
Dun, dun, dun.
So pieces are starting to fall into place.
Oh, dear.
Speaking of pieces falling, the 118 are trying to stop pieces from falling because we see them working to shore up the bleachers to make sure that it doesn't fall any further and, completely sever Mr. Foster's spine.
Ouch.
It is quite a cute scene because while Buck and Ravi and the rest of the crew are working, Bobby's just on Mr. Foster, just, keeping him calm, keeping him awake, making sure he's okay. And he tells Mr. Foster that the football player, whose name is Tino, is still, lurking around. He hasn't left. And Mr. Foster's really surprised about this because he didn't think that Tino liked him. Because he almost got Tino kicked off the football team for flunking science. And so we get this cute little moment where Tino's like, well, yeah, you nearly get me kicked off the team, but you also got me to bring my grades up. You were pushing me for my own sake, I'm not going to be able to play football forever. I'm going to need science at some point. So, I really respect you, dude.
Yeah, clearly everyone who stops playing football goes to science.
The thing that it was cute, but I'm like, no teenage boy talks like this.
No. No, it's completely unrealistic.
But anyway, it is cute.
Sweet, but unrealistic.
Yeah.
So while they're having this touching, teacher-student moment, Ravi is surveying the scene and notices that the van that we know is the one that caused the accident, now has clouds of white smoke billowing out of it. And he draws Bobby's attention to it, and Bobby's like, do we know what was in that van? So they go over to said van and open the doors at the back and discover that it was carrying barrels of chlorine, which are now on fire.
Great. And I assume that Bobby has radioed this back to dispatch because now dispatch knows about it. They start calling people.
Why are they calling people?
I was like, can't they put alerts out on...
Isn't that what the emergency broadcast text?
Yeah, they just had the emergency broadcast. Yeah, they just had this on the last couple episodes.
Yeah, we saw it in the last one where they were getting emergency texts like it was their greatest hits because it was, wrong. But they do have the capability of hitting everybody's phone simultaneously with an emergency. Do you know how long it would take to call every single person in LA? And that's not even, the good thing about the emergency broadcast system is that it hits everybody's phones within that cell tower radius. So even if your phone isn't registered, you will get, if you're a tourist... or if you're from out of town, you will get the emergency message on your phone simply because you're within that area. You wouldn't get that message if they were calling you.
Yeah, and if you really wanted to get people in the area out as quickly as possible, then calling each individual person is definitely not the fastest way. But anyway,
even
they do start calling
dispatcher.
everyone.
I mean, I know why they did this because they wanted to have Claudette and May go head to head. But it's just so stupid.
All of the firefighters at the homecoming parade put all their protective gear on. they stop saving people for the moment and save themselves for a moment. They put on their own mask before they help other people.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Put on your own mask first?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Even if you're a firefighter. They also grab a mask for the teacher. Yes. So that's nice.
Because they can't evacuate him because he's still trapped. So they give him some oxygen, which is great. So then we get the whole reason for this scene, which is May very blandly reciting the script to somebody that she's called. But instead of hanging up when she gets to the end of her script, she stops because the person is asking her questions. So being, the kind and considerate person that she is, she tries to answer the questions, which Claudette does not like. And she immediately...
Man, Claudette would hate Maddie.
Oh, my God. I would actually love to see Maddie and Claudette go head-to-head. That would be hilarious.
Oh, wait a minute. They never meet? Oh. That's a shame.
Anyway.
So Claudette goes storming over to May's station, hijacks the call, and hangs up on the woman.
Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't be able to do that. That's so rude.
It's so rude.
She tells her off. She tells May off for giving a time.
And see, the thing is, she's correct.
Never guess a time.
But rationally, logically, she's correct. You never guess a time or the facts to people because then that's going to set expectations which will probably fail. But it's just the way she does it, the way she immediately takes over May's call. It's just building more bricks in the I hate Claudette building that's constructing in my mind right now. We're up to where it's a skyscraper right now. That's how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the thing that's also really stupid is that we cut back to the parade and they've already contained the fire. So all of that drama for nothing.
Yeah, the only reason they did that was to have Claudette be mean to May.
Be a cow, yeah.
Which I'm sure they could have found another more rational, more reasonable, more realistic way to do it than this storyline. So they contain the fire, the chlorine gas situation is resolved, and they get Mr. Foster out of the bleachers.
Yeah, and they strap him to one of the benches rather than having an actual gurney.
I think they just cut him free on the bench that he is and then just lift the entire thing out.
I mean, if he's got a spinal injury, it's probably a good thing, right?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to move him around, so...
It's like that chick that had the meteor go through her and fused her to the couch, so they just took the couch. Or,
yeah, they just took the couch with them. They're this is a hospital problem.
Or the woman that got nail gun to the door, so they just strapped it to the door and took the entire door.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not unprecedented for them to, take furniture with them with a victim.
That's it. Yeah, they're this is too hard. We're making the hospital deal with this. Yep. Sucks to be the surgeons.
Yep.
Well, to be fair, they've had a lot of other patients, so maybe they're running out. How many ambulances do they have? They're going to have to strap this guy to the top of the fire truck to get him to the hospital as well. I don't know. He's going to be all right. All right, a bit more childhood trauma now.
Yes.
Where Harry just does not want to engage with his parents at all. They're trying to get him to talk, but he's just yeah, whatever.
He's full grumpy teenager, one word answers, shoulder shrugs, and then eventually can I go to my room?
Yeah. Apparently Michael has a roof garden in his building, which is kind of cool. And Harry helped plant the tomatoes that they're eating for lunch, which is very cool. I mean, maybe I'm showing my age now, but I'm I want a veggie garden real bad so I can eat my own grown vegetables. But the bad thing is that I have a black thumb and I will kill anything that I plant in the ground.
I mean, if you want something that's easy to not kill, just plant mint because your entire yard...
mint goes crazy. Yeah, no, I do know that. Yeah, you have to contain it in a pot, otherwise
yes, mint never goes in the ground, it just goes in a pot.
Also, pumpkins. Yep. Pumpkins will grow all over the backyard. I have done that before. I got one pumpkin out of it. and I had like an entire yard worth of plant.
Yep.
Anyway, Michael and Athena are worried about Harry, naturally, and, you know, we've been through plenty, we'll figure this one out too. Okay, whatever, that's the end of that scene.
Yeah, it's just reinforcing, like, Athena's sort of very much pushing the we survived, we'll get over it, we'll just push on and just pretend that everything is okay and everything will be okay. Whereas I think Michael is a little bit more, no, I think we need to, you know, actually put some work in here and, you know, address the trauma. I know the show doesn't like to address trauma. The show is very much Athena. But Michael is like, no, well, we actually need to do that and, you know, do therapy.
Oh, they really need to do therapy.
They all need to do therapy.
Including Chim, who is losing his mind right now to the point where he is stalking the pediatrician who saw Ji-yoon.
Oh my god, this scene. Oh, he does such a great job of this scene, though.
Yes.
He does, but it's so weird.
Oh, it's so weird.
Because first off, he went and asked, like, who his daughter saw, and the front desk told him that it was Dr. Green and told him who she was. So he's chasing her down while she's in civvies. Like, she's clearly trying to go home.
This poor woman.
But yeah, so he's like, yeah, like, I got this letter. This is Ji-yoon, who I think you know already. I'm her father. And she's like, yep, cool, what can I do for you? And he's like, oh, I received this form in the mail for my health insurance. And she's like, yeah, if you have any billing questions. And he's like, no, it's not a billing question. But it says right here that my daughter was brought in for an ER visit and that you treated her. And Dr. Green's like, yep, how is she? And Jim's like, the baby's fine, I guess, but her mother's not. And Dr. Green tries to deflect.
Which is exactly what she should do, because Chim says, I need to know what happened to Ji-yoon, and Dr. Green says, I think you should speak to Ji-yoon's mother, which just opens the floodgates for Chim. And he goes on this massive
Chim just
monologue.
Trauma dumps on this poor doctor, and he just looks so heartbreaking, but I'm like, oh, Chim.
And then, you know, so we've already had the, like, maybe the front desk or someone in the hospital fuck up by pointing Chim in Dr. Green's direction. And then Dr. Green fucks up by actually telling Chim what happened.
I mean, I guess it's not a HIPAA violation because...
It's not a HIPAA violation because he is her biological father, but she doesn't know if there was anything on the on Ji-yoon's file that said that there was like an order or a protective order or something in effect preventing the biological father from having that information, because you can do that. You can go, look, something is going on. I'm blocking the father from having any kind of knowledge about my kid's medical attention. And she doesn't know that without looking at the file. So she shouldn't be divulging this information without checking.
And she also doesn't actually know that this guy, like, he could have just kidnapped a baby, gone through the mail and been like, I'm Asian, the kid's Asian, that's totally fine.
She's looking like, looking at the Asian dad and the Asian kid and going, oh yeah, they're related. Like, what?
Yeah.
Also, considering this is, 8 days, maybe more, do you think that she would actually remember Ji-yoon? Like, how many kids do they see in the hospitals?
Maybe?
Maybe?
I don't know. I'm not, like, some customers I remember, some customers I don't. So,
like, repeat customers I'm sure you remember, but would you remember, like, a one-off from a week ago?
I mean, they did take her into a weird room, so... I just need to say as well, I love, so Chim's, like, trauma dump
the giraffe?
rant. The giraffe! Yes! The phones are, like, she's got postpartum, I couldn't go home, I couldn't call, the power was out, the phone lines were down, there was a giraffe on Hollywood Boulevard! And she's just like, yep, so, Miss Buckley was bathing your daughter and Ji-yoon slipped under the water. Please just leave me alone.
Please stop telling me everything that's happened to you in the last week. Anyway, she says good luck to you and then scurries away.
Making a mental note to check with security to see what the fuck was going on in that hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Chim recovers pretty quickly and is just sort of like, oh, thank you, bye.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of doctors, like, talking about patients, it was really funny. So I went and saw a new GP yesterday, and she happens to be my mum's GP.
Uh-oh.
And it's so funny because we have obviously the same surname. Mum and I look quite alike. And the doctor could not say anything until I brought up my mum. And she was like, oh, thank God. It was just so funny because, like, we were going through, like, the patient history stuff, and then, like, it was, like, going through my dad's side of the family and then started on mum's. And she's just like, you are Linda's daughter. And I'm like, yes. And she's like, oh, thank God.
Thought it was going crazy. It's just like...
But...
Yeah. Like, she's like, yeah, I've been dealing with your mum for, like, 5 years now, but didn't want to make assumptions.
Been dealing with your mother for 5 years. Poor doctor.
Does your mum chase her down in the car park and demand to know what happened?
Like, you saw my daughter. What did you talk about?
What did you talk about? She's like, a blood test? Oh, okay.
Oh, God.
All right, we're going back to dispatch.
We are going back to dispatch, and Josh is making me want to strangle him.
Yep.
May's generally worried about this, about the way that Claudette is behaving towards her. So she tells Josh about it.
She's acting like an asshole.
She goes to her trusted adult, and her trusted adult pretty much says that it's all in her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I do like that
she's
it's...
like, ever since she's got here, she's had it in for me.
But Josh
and Josh
is
like, ever since she got here? You mean this morning?
But yeah, then we get the explanation that whatever is happening, whatever May thinks is happening with Claudette, it's not personal because Claudette just has a big personality.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's not really an excuse for being shitty.
No. No, it's not. And he suggests that May try talking to Claudette. May's like, I don't want to talk to her. I don't think that's a good idea. And Josh says, well, I could talk to her, like, on your behalf. And May is like, no, because then it'll just look like I'm running to the boss, and that'll make things worse. And Josh will go, yeah, because it'll make it for sure worse if Claudette realizes she has a boss. Like, Josh, you are not helping.
Which, yikes.
You are her boss in this situation.
Yeah.
But he says, it's just a misunderstanding. I'm sure the two of you can work it out. Like, no, it's not. But I do kind of wonder if Claudette is... I'm getting really into this storyline, considering how much I hate it and how little airtime it gets in this episode. But I do kind of wonder if Claudette is acting differently around Josh than she does around other people.
Yeah. And, like, Josh is, like, a little bit of an asshole. Like, he's got that sassiness to him.
He does,
so I
but
think
it's usually
he just
deployed
thinks
for good.
that Claudette's the same. Exactly, yeah. So I think he just thinks that Claudette's the same sort of way. But, like, it'd make it worse if Claudette heard she had a boss. It's like, what?
Okay, so now the shit's really going to hit the fan. Because, we're going to return to the hospital.
We're going to follow... Hang on, we got to follow Eddie back to where Hen is first. And I just got to say that Eddie's got the most nice-looking hair in this episode. He looks great. I was like, wow, what did you do to your hair, man? It looks good.
It's good hair. It's very good hair. So, yeah, he's wandering through. It's a nice sort of... it's a nice shot because we're following Eddie through the hospital and we see it through the emergency department. So we're sort of seeing the chaos of the emergency department, of all the people there from the homecoming parade, and he ends up back at the front desk where Hen is, I'm guessing, doing paperwork to hand over the patient that they've just brought in. And Michaela's parents show up as well. They've found the hospital. They found their quote-unquote daughter, and now they've come back to find Hen to thank her for saving their daughter's life. And at that moment, Cassie's parents arrive.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird scene because they come up and thank Hen, and Eddie's standing there, and Hen's like, oh, it wasn't just me, and like kind of indicating towards Eddie, but the mum just grabs her in a hug, like just totally ignore Eddie.
Yeah. Eddie's like,
Which
well,
is
what am I,
kind
chopped liver? Okay.
It's like, okay, fine.
Which kind
It's
of
kinda
works.
cute.
Which works out because then you've got Hen becomes attached to the Tanners, which is Michaela's parents, which then leaves Eddie free to sort of become attached to the Shaws, which are Cassie's parents. So when the Shaws come in, we see how close they are because the Tanners immediately are hugging the Shaws and consoling them in their grief. And so Hen stays with the Tanners while Eddie, I don't know what, I mean, I know why it's Eddie. It has to be Eddie because this, it's 911. It's a show about the 118, so it has to be Eddie because, main characters. Eddie decides that he's going to take them to the morgue, take the Shaws to the morgue to show them their daughter, who is still laid out on the autopsy
it's
table.
Strange, but sure.
They need to identify her, apparently.
They do, but don't they usually have like a viewing room that they put the bodies in so you don't see them laid out in the middle of the morgue on the autopsy table?
I don't think you have to find your own way to the morgue either. I think you probably, someone from the hospital will escort you to where...
Not a random paramedic?
Yeah. But if that happened, we wouldn't find out what happened. So Eddie has to go along to...
Yes. Yes, because what happens is that the Shaws come in and the miscellaneous medical person who's lingering in the background doesn't get to say anything, so they don't get their SAG card for this scene, pulls the white sheet off the body on the slab, revealing her face, and you see this for a split second the Shaws collapse with grief, and then they stop. And they cock their heads and they wait. No, that's not our daughter. And the other really interesting part is as they pull the sheet back, Eddie kind of bows his head respectfully to give the Shaws the illusion of having some privacy. And as soon as the Shaws say that's not her, his head snaps up. He's like, wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
And the Shaws deliver the verdicts like, that's not our daughter. That's Michaela. And Eddie's like, oh, fuck. We fucked up.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking.
This episode sucked even more the second time because I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. I was watching this, before I needed to go and actually speak to some people, in a meeting, and I was trying so hard not to engage with this because I was like, oh... I can't cry right now. It was so heartbreaking.
I can remember the first time I watched this episode, I don't think I was paying attention in the sort of the David Wallacing of the two girls at the beginning. So I kind of wasn't paying attention to who was who. So this came as a big surprise to me. I'm like, what do you mean that's Michaela?
Yeah.
So
well, it was like Hen asked her what her name was, and she said Michaela. So it was like,
but
that makes
second,
sense at the time.
third, fourth time around, now that I've seen it, I recognize the faces. I'm watching it going, okay, they're sitting in the car, that's Michaela, that's Cassie. And so when you get to that scene, I'm looking at these girls on the pavement, I'm going, okay, Cassie's the dead one over there, this is, Cassie's the one over here, Michaela's over there. But
me and my face blindness, no fucking idea. I don't even know who the guy trying to cut the teacher out was. Bobby? I don't know.
And to make it even sadder, this is the Michaela Cassie storyline. This is a ripped from the headline storyline. This really happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it happened back in 2006. There was a van crash, and two women. One woman died. Another woman survived, but she had horrific injuries, and they were misidentified on the scene. But what was worse was it took them weeks to work out that they'd made a mistake. So this poor family was sitting in a hospital bed beside this this girl that they thought that was their daughter, and she had horrific facial injuries, so they couldn't actually identify her properly. And as the injury started to go down, they're like, wait, she doesn't really look like my daughter. And she was not responding to her name, and she kept she was saying, like, my name is, like, so they thought that her name was Laura. She's like, no, my name's Whitney. I'm Whitney. And eventually took dental x-rays and then compared them to her dental records and realized that, oh, this was not Laura. This actually was Whitney, which meant that Laura had died. But Whitney's family had already done a funeral. Like, they had mourned her and buried her. And then all of a sudden they're being told, actually, no, she's been alive for weeks in a hospital bed. And Laura's family have been, holding out hope that their daughter was alive, and suddenly, no, actually, she died weeks ago.
Fuck, that's awful.
Yeah. So, as awful as this episode is, at least it only takes them like an hour or so.
Yeah, they don't have weeks in an episode to go through all of that.
But they don't have, like, God. Cassie never learns that there was a mix-up because she's unconscious through this entire thing. So nobody buries her and, like, nobody mourns her. She just, like, she wakes up and her parents are there.
Yeah. Well, so before that can be unravelled, we have to have this annoying scene with May and Claudette.
Ugh.
So Claudette is looking like she's about to go home because she's heading for the elevator. May just grabs her before she goes and she's like, oh, I've got to get home to feed my cat. And May's like trying to engage her. She's like, you have a cat? And Claudette's like, no. It's like, okay, bitch. May's like, I feel like we got off on the wrong foot. And Claudette is really not having any of it. She's like, what happened today was a learning opportunity.
And bless little May. She's like, yeah, exactly. I'm so glad you say it that way. I mean, I know you're a lot more experienced than this, and I know I look young, but I'm also good at this. And just, like, keeps going. And Claudette just goes, apology accepted. And May's like, no, that's not... She's like, and next time you don't have to tell me how good you are, just show me. It's like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah. At this point of the episode, I've gone, oh shit, once again, May's storyline is about being bullied by a mean girl.
Oh, yeah.
Can
Poor
this
May.
girl not get a break?
All right, well, we're going back to the more trauma for this episode. Eddie has to explain to Hen what happened. And, oh, no, we don't have... Okay, it's just that.
It's literally just that.
Eddie telling Hen what happened.
It's not, but we don't even see that. It's just like, Hen's like, oh, thank God for taking the shores. How did it go? And Eddie's like, that's a complicated question.
That's a complicated question.
Where are the Tanners? And Hen's like, oh, they're in with their daughter. And Eddie's like, yeah, no, they're not. Yeah. And Hen's like, wait, what do you mean? But before we can watch that clusterfuck, we are going to go back to Athena, who has come home to the Athena House of Horrors, and it's empty and it's quiet because Bobby is back at the station house doing paperwork, which means that they're, like, I don't understand why Hen and Eddie are still at the hospital at this point, but that's fine because Bobby's already back at the station. And he says he's still at work, which means that, like, his shift was supposed to have ended, which means that Hen and Eddie are now on overtime. Anyway, so he's doing paperwork. He's going to be home soon. So Athena starts to do all the things that you do when you get home from work. You take off your shoes, take off your jacket, you take off your jewelry. And as she is taking off her jewelry, she puts...
Hang on, you mean we don't just wear high heels around the house for 30 minutes before running a bath?
See, I like these writers. They know that women get home, we take off our shoes, we take off our jewelry. We know who the Lees are.
Yeah.
But specifically with Athena taking her jewelry off, she has to put her phone down so she can get all her rings off, and she it ends up on the edge of the bedside table and falls down between the bed and the bedside table, so she has to bend down to retrieve it. And when she's down there, she sees that there is a framed photograph that's fallen, so she retrieves that as well. And it is a photo of her and Bobby and the kids from their wedding, but it's smudged because we, the audience, get a flashback to see that Jeffrey had rubbed his fingers all over the picture. I don't think Athena knows that for certain, but that's what happened. But so either we, the audience, are seeing it or she's imagining it, and it triggers her into like a cleaning spiral. Because she starts cleaning the glass, and then she's like, nope, I've got to take everything out of my drawer. I don't want everything that Jeffrey could possibly have touched now needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
Thank God she never found out what he did with her panties.
Yeah, well, she washes everything. She takes all of her clothes out of her drawers, and she's basically in a manic kind of spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Athena. And she's like washing up all of the all of the things in the kitchen when Bobby gets home.
I'm certain she's cleaned like everything in the house. Which kind of...
I mean, I don't know how long Bobby spent doing paperwork, but it looks like she's at this for hours.
Yeah, which kind of lends credence to the Athena no longer thinks this house is safe either theory, which is why she's been quite hesitant to allow Harry to come back.
Mm. Even though she shot Jeffrey 56 times.
I love that every time you talk about that, the number of bullets just goes up.
She hasn't stopped shooting him. She's still going.
Okay, so Athena is aggressively cleaning. Meanwhile, by some miracle, the doctors have managed to expedite dental records from somebody's...
The dental store? Yep.
Because, I mean, for dental records, you have to contact the dentist, right? And hope to hell that the person's had x-rays in the last couple of years that you can use for comparison.
I never understand how they're like, oh yeah, dental record. Like, who goes to the dentist? I don't know. Like, I haven't been to the dentist and had x-rays since I was a teenager.
Okay, so we're never going to...
My teeth are totally different now.
We are never going to be able to identify your body then, is what we're saying. Because we don't have dental records.
Please don't murder me, Bex.
Please go to the dentist, even if it's like, so what brings you in here? Like, well, my best friend is thinking of murdering me, so I need to get an x-ray.
I'm really worried that my podcast co-host is going to murder me.
So I need dental records so that, once they've dismembered me, I can, my body can be identified by dental records.
I think I end up getting one every couple of years at the moment.
Oh, look at Moneybags over here.
No, it's all covered by insurance.
Look at Moneybags affording insurance. Like, I can't afford dental insurance. What the fuck do you think this is?
I don't think my insurance covers dental to that degree.
Really? Okay.
So Ellen's fine. We will always be able to identify Ellen's body.
Yeah. As soon as I went off my parents' plan, I was like, well, I guess that's the end of my teeth.
But, like, the other thing is, if this is homecoming, then that's, a Saturday? So what dentist is open on a Saturday that they were able to contact them and get their patients' records? I know it's for the drama.
Yes.
It's absolutely for the drama that they managed to get a hold of somebody's dental records and they were able to confirm that the body in the morgue is Michaela, not Cassie.
Yeah, they only had to get Michaela's dental records. Michaela was the one whose parents were the real estate agents, right?
No, Cassie's parents were the real estate agents. Michaela's parents were that's right, yeah. But wouldn't they have also needed... Because if they get Michaela's records... I'm hoping that they got Michaela's records and compared it and not just they got Cassie's records and went, well, it's not Cassie, so it has to be Michaela. Yeah. Which means that they had to get 2 sets of dental records on a Saturday, hoping that both girls had, dental x-rays
and they
recently.
hadn't told the Tanners yet, so...
No, so they've done all this without alerting the Tanners or the Shaws.
Yeah. Well, the Shaws already know that
finally
it's not...
someone kept some information to themselves.
The Shaws already know that it's not their daughter in the morgue because they're like, no, that's not our kid.
But they don't know where their daughter is.
No.
So the doctor has come to Eddie
it's just awful.
And Hen to break the news to them first. And he goes, I'm going to go in and break the news to the Tanners. And Hen goes, actually, I want to do that. Like,
I'll do that, even though my shift ended 12 hours ago and I don't actually work at this hospital, except that we kind of rescued a helicopter from the top of it recently, so I guess now I just live
hospital?
Here. I don't think so.
Because there are multiple hospitals in LA. I know they always seem to go to First Presbyterian, but I don't think that this is First... Is this First Presbyterian?
Yes, this is First Presbyterian.
This is First Presbyterian. Was the one that we went to for the emergency First Presbyterian?
I don't know.
I don't even care to look
no
it up.
idea.
But basically,
I don't remember what episode that was.
Hen is
2, right?
Hen is like, I fucked up. I need to, rectify my mistake. So I am going to go and break the news to the Tanners.
For some reason.
Oh, this is so awful, though.
It's awful. It's horrible. Ugh, it's so hard.
Yeah, so she asks them, she goes to where they're sitting there with the person who they think is their daughter, who is all covered up in bandages, so can't even see her face. They follow Hen out of the room into the hallway where she breaks the news about the terrible mistake. I mean, she does explain it quite well, that the person she was saving was asking for Michaela. Like, she asked her name and she said Michaela, so... And then the dad sort of works it out and was like, are you telling us this girl in this room is not our daughter? And then they just all break down. And poor Hen. And poor them, obviously. What a horrible situation.
So they collapse in grief, and as they're sobbing, we see the Shaws have arrived to sit with their daughter. And they immediately, rather than rushing to their daughter's side, they take a moment to go to the Tanners and hug them in a nice sort of mirror of the previous time, the first time that they saw them. Because the first time they saw them, the Tanners were hugging the Shaws because they thought the Shaws had lost their daughter, and now the Shaws are hugging the Tanners because they know that the Tanners have lost theirs. And so Hen takes the Tanners again to the morgue, where the body is still lying on the autopsy table, while the Shaws
Poor Michaela is just like, she's had her teeth looked at. She's had the wrong parents.
She's not there anymore. She doesn't mind.
But again, not the actual doctors or the medical staff. It's the paramedics doing it. So Hen and Eddie are having a pretty traumatic evening. Buck and Chim aren't doing so well either, because Chim has, I don't know what he's done with the kid, but he's at Buck's apartment because he thinks that he's solved a mystery. He knows why Maddie's left now. She left because Ji-yoon had an accident and Maddie blames herself. But what's interesting is that he bursts into Buck's apartment and he's like, Maddie took Ji-yoon to the emergency room. And it takes him a little while to realise that Buck wasn't surprised when Chim told him that.
Yeah.
He didn't even blink. And the cogs are moving. They're a little bit slow because, he's tired and he's overwhelmed. But he realised, he's like, you knew that Ji-yoon had an accident. You knew that Maddie took her to the emergency room. And Buck looks like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why Buck didn't tell him about this. So why did he keep this in secret?
Because Maddie told him to.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But the Buckley family is full of secrets. That's what they do. Chimney is bad at secrets. The Buckley family never, they don't speak, except that Buck doesn't shut up. But
They don't speak out their feelings.
Yeah, Maddie's good at secrets. Buck is learning to be good with secrets.
But yeah, basically Maddie said nothing to Chim, just left him the video, but she has spoken to Buck.
Multiple times, it sounds like. Sounds like she's kept in tuck with Butch.
In tuck with Butch.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. She has kept in touch with Buck.
So yeah, Chim asks where Maddie is, and Buck goes, I don't know, she wouldn't tell me. Chim goes, 8 days. You've waited 8 days while you've seen the hell I've been going through and you didn't tell me. Buck goes, she said she was fine. She just needed to figure some stuff out and she was more worried about you. She asked me to check in on you and Ji-yoon and make sure you were okay.
Which explains the trip that Buck took to Chim's apartment at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
And the constant bucking up that he kept trying to do. Chim's not okay, though. He's not using his words anymore, though, to explain how not okay he is. And in quite a little bit of a synchronous moment, because remember back in season 1 we mentioned that there was supposed to be a running joke that Buck's birthmark, or Oliver's birthmark and Buck's birthmark was, people were constantly going to be asking, did he get punched in the face?
He actually gets punched in the face!
Yeah. He actually gets punched in the face, and I did rewind that and make sure that, Chim actually did hit him on that side of the face. And he does.
He did. He aimed straight for the birthmark, I think. So yeah, Chim punches Buck, says, I am not okay, and then just leaves.
Chimney out. Athena is also not okay, but she's not punching anybody. Thank God.
No, she's just cleaning.
Yes.
Yeah, so Bobby gets home. She's still cleaning. He's like, you okay? What happened? And Athena's like, he was here in this house. She's freaking out, basically.
Yeah, Bobby's repeating the therapist's line without actually having been to the therapy. He's still saying the same thing, the house is safe.
He can't hurt us anymore.
If Jeffrey is gone, he can't hurt you anymore. The house is safe. And Athena's like, I'm supposed to bring Harry back to this house. I'm supposed to be telling him that this house is safe. But she doesn't feel like the house is safe. It doesn't feel like home to her anymore. It's been tainted with Jeffrey's cooties.
Not anymore, because she's been trying to scrub it all away.
So she collapses. Bobby hugs her, reassures her. And so that's...
this next scene is the one bright spot in this whole episode, in terms of lightheartedness.
Yeah, but it also doesn't make sense, because when Chim went over to see Buck, that was evening, because it was around the same time that Athena was, getting her cleaning psychosis on, and that was, end of shift. Bobby was coming home. Yet this scene happens the next morning because the sun is up. And buddy, if you've only waited until now to put ice on your face, you've left it far too late.
So late. I mean, no, let's be real. Buck got punched and he went straight to... Because are they at Buck's place? Yeah, so he got punched in the face and called Eddie straight away, and Eddie came straight over.
But it's morning. He got punched the night before because it was dark, and now it's sunny.
It's timey-wimey, it's fine.
He does also have a big bruise on his face, so yeah, it takes a while for that to come up.
But he's only putting ice on it now. Also, when during the day is it? Because Eddie's getting him a beer.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're a shift worker, any time of day is beer o'clock.
It's 5 p.m. somewhere.
Yeah.
Breakfast beer? I don't know.
Apparently.
So yeah, it's the next morning. Buck is feeling sorry for himself, and he's called Eddie, who's come over to basically compliment Chim on his ability to punch and hit a specific spot. Because all he says is, well, there's nothing wrong with his aim.
Yeah.
Okay, first they have a little chat about how Buck thought that he could help them both because Maddie told him not to tell Jim what was going on. And, you know, he thought he could convince her to come home. But he feels like he failed on both fronts. And then Eddie's like, you were always going to fail. It's like, dude, what? Buck says, well, that's dark. But then he's like, you think he's going to forgive me? And Eddie's like, no. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Maybe. Then just ice goes on the eye,
It's
bud.
like, dude, you're no help at all. You're supposed to be making you feel better, and instead you just like...
I mean, he does have some pearls of wisdom, because he does tell Buck that, you know, he's looking at Maddie like this is his big sister, the one who always knew what to do, person he's always looked up to, the person who's always cared for him. But this is not his big sister anymore. This is Chim's Maddie, who's very different from Buck's Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Buck acting like this is his sister is not the correct response in this situation. Maybe he needs to let Chim do what Chim does, because it's Chim's Maddie that's in trouble, not Buck's Maddie. So he's really good at relationship advice, just not his own relationships.
Yeah, and also he's like really chipper for someone who just supposedly broke up with his girlfriend. So he's loving the single life, apparently.
Eddie, like, honestly, if Buck was just like, oh, how are you going with that Anna? Eddie would be like, Anna?
Anna who?
Oh, Anna, yeah, no, she's fine. Don't care.
Like, you told me to break up with her, so I did.
Yeah. Maybe this is long enough after that all went down.
It's
yeah,
like
it
8
is
days.
a while.
It's 8 days.
Oh, it is 8 days, yeah.
Because he broke up with her the same day that Ji-yeon got dropped at the fire station.
At the fire station,
yeah.
yeah. So it's been 8 days and Eddie does not care.
He's over it.
Yeah. He's done. He's fine.
All right, it's time for some more advice. May has got the ice cream out. 2 tubs of ice cream, 1 for each of them, for her and Harry.
Yes, because Harry has made his way over to her apartment.
Oh, that's right. She lives...
She has her own
now.
apartment
I forgot about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
And it's not within telescope view of her father.
That sounds way more creepy. Actually, no, I was going to say it sounds more creepy than it is, but no, he really does spy on
creepy.
people through... Yeah, it's creepy.
Yes, he does.
Anyway, they're having a heart-to-heart.
They are having a heart-to-heart when May tells Harry, don't tell Dad about the amount of amount of sugar that I'm giving you right now. Harry's like, he's not going to care because both of our parents are bending over backwards since I got kidnapped by that crazy freak. And he does open up to May a little bit, and I think he's opened up to her more than he's opened up to anybody. And we discover why he's been in such a mood. Because he blames his parents for what happened to him. He blames Michael for not even noticing that Jeffrey walked off with him, and he blames Athena because she was the reason that the guy was there in the first place. Which I think is a pretty...
Yeah, it's what
that
happened.
makes sense.
Yeah. Poor Harry.
Very much poor Harry.
But May tells him to be mad at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh no,
Like,
I'm not
don't.
supposed to be mad at them. And May's like, no, be mad at them.
And then Harry basically tells May to be mad at the awful lady at work. I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is like mutual terrible advice day, but I'm not sure if this is great advice.
I don't know that he was telling her to be mad at Claudette, because May's advice is like, don't bottle up your feelings, don't put on a happy face just to make other people happy. And he's like, sure, tell me how that's working at work for you. She's like, shut up. Do as I say, not as I do.
It's a sweet bonding moment.
I do like the Grant siblings.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, final scene of the episode. We have Chim, who's going on a cross-country mission to track down his baby mama. So he's got G in the car. He's very cool. He's like, he loads G into a capsule, locks it into the base, and he's like, cool, do you need anything else? Game device, pretzels, trashy magazine? And Gion's just looking at him like, dude, I'm a baby. All I need is my fingers. They will entertain you for hours.
She's just like, I don't know what's going on, but we're doing it. Off we go.
Like, why am I in the car? Am I going back to the hospital? I don't want to go back to the hospital.
Yeah, not again. Yeah. Please don't yell at my doctor again.
So they're going to go find Mommy, but he has to make one phone call first. So pulls out his phone, pulls up a contact, dials, and then gets very confused when he can hear a ringtone directly behind him. Because he's called Hen, but Hen is there.
Yeah, Hen's caught him before he leaves. Apparently he was about to go and visit her, but she came to find him first. So,
yes, and Chim asks if she's here to talk him out of going, and Hen's like, no, I'm here to see if you want a driving partner. And I'm like, you were already at the fire station for like a week, 2 weeks straight with the quote-unquote emergencies from the season opener, leaving Karen at home with one, maybe multiple children, because we don't know where you are in your fostering situation right now. You've come home for a week and now you want to leave again?
Yeah.
Karen is a saint.
Yep.
Karen does not deserve this treatment by her wife.
No, but it is very nice of her to offer to come along. Maybe she was offering in the with the thought that he would obviously say no.
Yeah, luckily Chim is also Karen's friend, so it's just like, no, go the fuck home. What are you doing?
But like
I don't want Karen to murder me.
But yeah, so Chin says like, what would your wife have to say about that? And Hen's like, after yesterday, I think she'd understand. And it took me a minute to figure out what happened yesterday for Hen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Honey, I know that I abandoned you during the emergency so that I could be on call, and you did a great job with the kids. But I had a really crappy day at work, so now I want to go on a cross-country road trip with my colleague. Is that okay? Like, yes,
that's
honey,
fine, right?
I know that you had an absolutely traumatic day, which was possibly of your own making, so of course you can abandon me and the kids again.
Yeah.
For an undetermined amount of time. Yes, go. Divorce papers may be waiting for you when you come back, but sure, go.
I mean, Tim doesn't even turn her down. He's just like, okay, no, I'm going. Bye. But no, he knows he's got a bank withdrawal information from a bank in Oxnard. I don't know where that is.
I don't know where that is. I don't really
America.
Yeah. But he's going to go check that out first. And
oh, it's in California. It's just another part of California.
okay.
Oh. It's like northwest of Los Angeles.
Okay. So she hasn't got far at that point.
No.
But I don't know what he's hoping to find there, since it was just a bank withdrawal, but okay.
He's probably going to go into the bank and go like, this woman came in and withdrew this amount of money. What can you tell me? Did she happen to leave a breadcrumb that I can follow? And of course he's going to get there and feel like, no, she used the ATM and we don't have a camera.
Yeah, they're also not married, so he doesn't have any...
Can't request that information.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's going to be on the trail with their daughter, so good luck to him. But Hen sort of breaks down a little bit and asks, are you sure you're coming back? And Chim's like, not without her.
Not without
and
my
they have
baby
a big
mama.
hug. They have a lovely big hug.
I don't want to be a single father. I had to do washing one day and it was too hard.
Yeah, so imagine
I'm
how
sure
Maddie
Jim's a great
felt
dad,
for like
that's
the
fine.
3 months that you left her while you were in the station house.
Yeah, but Beck, she's a woman. She just knows how to do it innately.
Are you sure you don't have dental records? Because I'm gonna just... You're gonna need them.
No, I'm sure Chim's actually... Like, he did live alone for a while, so... I'm sure he knows how to find the washing machine.
I do love the callback to the rebar.
Yeah. Like, Hen's like, be safe. And Jim's like, you know me. And she's like, yeah, I do. Hence the request, rebar skull.
The bar is quite low, but this episode was better written than the previous one.
Yes.
I thought it was
100%.
like, it was sad, a lot of trauma in this episode and a low kind of tone, but I liked it better in like it worked better.
No, I think you're right. There was a lot of trauma. There was a lot of heavy stuff, but it was actually like addressed to some degree.
Yeah.
Which I guess kind of makes sense because the actual emergency part is over and we're in the aftermath where, you know, the dust is settled and we can actually, you know, take a breath and start to deal with the trauma that has arisen.
Yeah, maybe that's why it kind of worked, because the trauma, like the dealing of the trauma, was each of the characters doing their thing, but they all, you know, it was like a linear kind of progression from one thing to the other rather than just jumping around like we had in the past.
It also wasn't just propaganda.
Yes, this wasn't Athena the cop. This was Athena the mother and Athena the woman reacting.
Exactly, yeah.
To the emergency.
Because I like Athena the mother. I'm just sick of cops.
I don't like Claudette. I don't like the Claudette storyline.
Such a shit storyline.
All right, tell me we've got something more lighthearted for next time.
Not really.
Well, we can tell you that, but
So, next episode, the members of the 118 face an awkward rescue call when they arrive on the scene of a man who has overexerted himself exercising. The team must also save the life of a groundskeeper whose chainsaw cut into him and raced to an explosion at a retirement community. Meanwhile, Athena has an extreme reaction to Harry's new behaviour, and then Hen and Eddie, as well as Buck and Ravi, have rocky starts to their new partnerships, and May receives an emergency call from a suicidal teen while continuing her uneasy work relationship with Claudette.
Oh my god, that was
I remember none of this episode
that was
at
a
all.
long summary.
I do, if we're talking about like bright spots, Buck and Ravi in this episode, in the next episode, are a bright spot. They are hilarious.
Oh, I love Buck and Ravi together. I don't remember this episode, but just in general, I love Buck and Ravi together.
Hang on. Triggers for next week, which episode title is Peer Pressure. We have body dysmorphia. Because there's Claudette, we've got the bullying / hazing. We have child abuse, depression, PTSD / childhood PTSD, gore, a meth lab explosion. I don't know why retirement home is a trigger, but sure. Self-isolation, suicide attempt, therapy is apparently also a trigger. Unintentional self-harm / temporary disability in bathroom. Seriously? We're triggering that? Okay. And weight loss / fitness talk.
Wow.
It's a doozy.
I feel like each episode is escalating the
trauma.
The triggers that we have.
The triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So almost like, what are we going to have next?
Bee-nado. Killer bees.
Yeah.
No, surely not. That seems way too unrealistic for 911.
I'm weirdly looking forward to that. But that's a long way off.
That's a very long way off.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about this episode. Anything else?
It was really sad. Didn't get better after the second time. Was just as sad, just even sadder, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
when
even
you already
Because I
know
knew
what's
it was
coming.
coming.
once you know what was happening, yeah, it's no longer, you're no longer getting struck with the realization. You're sitting there watching the car crash, knowing what's coming, and you're waiting for everyone else to catch up to your knowledge. That's just as heartbreaking. But I think it was better than the first 3 episodes. Like, we survived the first 3 episodes, and we're now back to the normal
that's it.
911 episodes, and it was actually a good one. And it's like, oh my god, now we're back to normal. Like, the season will get better now.
We all watched this a week ago, and the fact that we didn't want to rewatch it had nothing to do with the quality of the episode. It had to do with how sad the episode was, and none of us wanted to relive it again.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I said I hate the emergency in this one because it's so fucking sad, and I hate Claudette. Just because she bugs the shit out of me. That's the only reason I didn't want to watch these episodes.
Claudette's so annoying.
It was nothing about the quality of the writing or the quality of the acting or the storylines itself.
Who wrote this episode? I didn't.
This was written by. I've got it in my notes. This was written by Bob Goodman, who is a co-executive producer who previously had writing credits on Breaking Point, which did not make me trust him because I hated that fucking episode. But he also wrote Treasure Hunt, which I thought was fun. So he kind of redeemed himself.
Okay. Yeah, well, I did. I quite enjoyed the, I don't know if I want to say the writing. Like, I liked the structure of this one. I thought it worked really well.
Except when they did stupid things like trying to call every single residence in, like, Los Angeles about a boring gas leak.
Yeah, and some of the dialogue was but we're looking too hard at it. We're staring into the void and it's staring back.
Yeah. Don't stop pulling the string.
Yeah.
Leave the curtain where it is. Stop trying to look behind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, tell us what you thought of this episode, please.
Were you shocked by because there were 2 twists in that emergency, really? Because there's the old lady twist.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously the
that was more of a misdirection type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, effective. Yes, I'm even sadder after hearing that it was a real story.
Yeah.
That's awful. Anyway, yes, send us your tears.
Also, if you've watched Hated Rivalry,
just
send us your
randomly
thoughts,
throwing
because
that in.
I'm sure Bex and Ellen will have watched it by the time this episode comes out. So
maybe there's only a couple episodes out so far, right?
Yeah, there's only 2.
All right, so leave us a comment on this episode's post on thatweewooshow.com or in Spotify or on YouTube. You can let us know on social media, all of those things. Thank you for listening this week. We'll talk to you next week about episode 5, which is called Peer Pressure. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
911 is a fictional show, but many of the situations portrayed happen in the real world too. If any of the topics we've discussed in this episode have affected you, please know you're not alone. You can call or text numbers in your country for help. Just Google crisis support in your location to find out the number. If you enjoy our podcast, you can help us out by leaving us a review on Spotify or your preferred listening app, and by sharing our social media posts. Find out more at thatweewooshow.com.